Hey, I'm Les with Judson Vacuum Systems. I want to go over some information about odor control for carpet cleaning. We manufacture a product called DD-12. Now I'd like to tell you the advantages of DD-12 and what makes DD-12 pretty unique on anything else on the market. Basically what I want to talk about is our processing and what's actually in the bottle here. And it's a fairly high concentrated chemical. In some cases this is probably 20 times more powerful or highly concentrated over anything else on the market. And we can do that by basically looking at the label and looking at dilution ratios and recommended dilution ratios of chemical. There's several things that we do I don't think anybody else really does. Is one thing we do is we preserve our fragrance oil. And I'd like to talk about that first. First of all, we buy the highest quality fragrance oil that you can find on the market, and we do not import anything from a foreign country. Everything's American made that we produce. So the fragrance oil comes in with these 3-gallon containers, and it's an oil. Now this is not water soluble. We must make it be water soluble with surfactants. But one of the processes I'd like to tell you about that we do is we actually preserve our fragrance oil with a product called BHT. BHT is from the food industry, restaurant industry, for pre-cooked foods, and what it is, it actually keeps oxygen away from oil. So it prevents the oxygen from getting to the oil. And they use it for processed foods, pre-cooked foods. What we actually do is we take our fragrance oil, we put it on a hot plate with a magnetic stir, and once it gets up to temperature, we then process about 2% BHT into the solution. BHT is like a waxy type material. It takes heat to melt it into the oil. So it's not really a water soluble product at all. So that's one thing we do, is we process in about 2% BHT into our fragrance oil, and then we process that fragrance oil into a surfactant, which in turn makes the whole solution water soluble. So that's how we get something that's oil based to be a water based product that's done with a surfactant. Once we process that into the solution, we now have a fairly highly concentrated, thick concentrated solution here. Now this is our bubble gum, and we make 12 different fragrances. You know, we got lemon, we got mulberry, honeysuckle's kind of a unique fragrance that you don't really see. Spearmint, peppermint, lemon, orange. Orange goes good with our orange is right there in the front. Orange goes good with the O2 system because it's an orange limonene based product. But what I wanted to talk about is then what's in the bottle. Now DD-12 has, like I say, it's processed with the BHT, which is a preservative, antioxidant. So when you actually take, when you smell out of the bottle, it's not that strong because it's got the oxygen antioxidant blocker in there. But once you dilute this with water, it dilutes the antioxidant and it releases the fragrance. And these bottles are kind of neat. If you want to measure, you squeeze this and it fills up this little measuring container there, which is a 1-ounce container. And then you can measure out into a gallon of water. That's kind of neat, the bottles that we use. DD-12 has 6% fragrance. Now that's, in the world of fragrance oils, a fragrance oil is very, very powerful. I mean, it's amazing that something can be that strong. So most fragrance is 1 to 2%. It's about industry average, you know. We're actually processing 6% fragrance oil. So right there we're, you know, 3 to 5 times more actual fragrance oil per product. The next thing that we do is we have a product called propylene glycol, which is 20% propylene glycol. propylene glycol assists in the coupling of the oil to make it water soluble. But it's also, if you do a search with EPA, it's recommended for airborne bacteria. Propylene glycol is a safe chemical that's in inhalers. If you ever gone to a rock and roll show and you see that fake smoke on the stage, that's propylene glycol. So it's approved by EPA to breathe it. It's a good, safe product that's been around for quite a while. We also have 5% drying agent, and the reason that's in there is you can use DD-12 as an after spray, and you can actually mist a very light solution of 1 ounce to a quart, very light mist after spray, and it'll accelerate and assist in the drying of the carpet if you put a fan down. So that's one kind of unique things. But basically it's a fragrance, and it has 10% quaternary ammonia. And so I would like to talk about Quat. Now, another product we have is called Quat-a-Lot. And I would like for everybody to get to where they're reading the labels and actually look at what you're being sold, as far as ingredients. Now, most quats, if you look on the market, of quaternary ammonia is around 4%. The most I've seen is about 10%, and there's different types of quat. Quat-a-Lot is a mixture of 4 different component quats, 4 different type of quats, which covers a broader spectrum of odor-causing germs. It's a 25% strength. Now that's pretty powerful as far as a quaternary ammonia. Like if most quats are 2%, you'd have to buy 10 gallons of the 2%, and you still wouldn't be at 25%. So you got what you got to look here is what you're buying in the bottle. So there's 2 good products here that a lot of people may not know about. But if you're buying any type of odor control and you want a fragrance, this is the product to buy right here, because it's very, very powerful, and it's of great value. It's actually probably it is the best value that I know on the market. It has 10% quat. If you got something that's really, really super bad, you can actually add a little bit more quat to it if you want to, but 10% is very high as far as a concentration of quat. What actually kills the germs is the quat. The Quat-a-Lot, it can be added to the pre-spray, which our O2 system has 500 parts per million per ounce of pre-spray. Then you add the Quat-a-Lot in there for doing pet stains, and if you're going to use a water claw. So you can also add this in to give it some fragrance to actually mask the situation immediately, where the smell's not that bad. But really the fragrance doesn't get rid of the odor. It's just a masking agent that just smells better than the odor, but you got to put something in there that'll eliminate the odor, and quaternary ammonia is what we have in the DD-12, 10%, and you can buy Quat-a-Lot is the pure 25% quaternary ammonia. And it can be added with the O2 pre-spray when you're doing water claws. So you got your detergents, your surfactants, your oxygen brighteners, you got solvents with elimination. Then you got the borate in the O2 pre-spray, which is the 500 parts per million of disinfectant with the borate, which is an oxygen brightener. And then you add in 2 ounces of this per gallon, and you've got a very high powered parts per million disinfectant that's safe, that will not bleach the carpet out. It's very safe. We're able, with 4 ounces of O2 pre-spray and 2 ounces of Quat-a-Lot, we're approaching 8,000 parts per million of disinfectant, and it's safe, and it will not bleach the carpet out. In a lot of cases, if you're using a product that's got sodium percarbonate as its main disinfectant, you can get that percarbonate up at such a high strength, which was only about 2,500 parts per million, that can actually bleach out a dark colored blue or green carpet. So you got to be careful. What we've done by incorporating the Quat-a-Lot with our pre-spray is we've gotten way up to close to 8,000 parts per million, and it's not doing any damage to the carpet. Basically, the stronger a chemical is, the more effective it is. But there is a point there that you're putting such a high strength on a carpet that you'll have a rinsing problem, where it won't rinse good. So we've addressed all those issues. You know, we can get a higher parts per million, more effective, stronger chemical, and it not cause any damage to the fiber, and it not be where it cannot be rinsed out. So I just wanted to talk about a few products. If you're using any type of odor product whatsoever, we got 12 different fragrances. Give this a try and get a quart of Quat-a-Lot, and the next time you have a skunk odor, it works outstanding. I've had quite a few customers have dogs that's been sprayed with a skunk, and this stuff was the only thing that worked. They've tried everything on the market, and this is the only thing that really worked on skunk odor. So anything that's biological, the odor is biological, this is a very powerful, effective, safe deodorizer. So these are products that I haven't really made a video on, is the DD-12. In some cases, this replaces 1 gallon of DD-12. If you look at the label and what's in the bottle, you'll see that sometimes it's 10 times more powerful. You'd have to buy 10 gallons of whatever product you're buying now. And my kitty's in the way. So anyway, I like being informal. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I just want you to know about my products, you know. I want you to try my products. I want you to, you know, everybody claims everything's the best, right? I want you to get some. Get a quart and see if we're not what I'm talking about. If something's 10 times more powerful, you're getting 10 times more product for your money. We use all American made raw material. And Kitty, you want in on it, huh? Okay, that's it on the DD-12 and the Quat-a-Lot. Give me a call if you got any questions. You got any other products you want to get my opinion about? But as far as deodorizers, I don't know of anything that comes close to the amount of product that I'm selling you and the quality of the product as the DD-12. I mean, it's very, very powerful. We got the BHT processed in there, so it can store in the bottle and not lose its strength in storage. So I got some DD-12 that's 6 years old, and it's just as strong as the day we made it. So a lot of deodorizers, once they're a year old, you open up the bottle, there's nothing in there. So give DD-12 a try. Next time you need a deodorizer, we got a lot of different fragrances. We got some unique fragrances like the honeysuckle. We got a Febreze. The fresh air is really neat. If you want to try something that's really unique, when you smell the fresh air straight out of the bottle, it doesn't smell like, once you dilute it down, it totally changes the fragrance to just a very fresh smell. And so we got a lot of variety of colors, fragrances. And then we got our Quat-a-Lot, and we sell it in quarts and gallons. And I think if you give it a try, you'll see that like I say, it's come through with situations with skunk and stuff like that no other product solved. So I thought I'd make this quick video, and I appreciate you spending some time and watching it, and we'll see you later.